Hello everybody and welcome to this guide and tutorial for the golden shot. Difficulty level is hard and I will give you 6 shots in how to crush this version of the Shiruba springs. But before we take a look at the content, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in their game, go to patreon.com/golfclashtom. We do have tour guides for tour number 7 up to tour number 13, but also we do have the ultimate tournament guide for pro, expert and master for the upcoming 9-hole Cup. We will be making a guide for Master Division for all our Patreons, so make sure to get a package today. So, the golden shot. We do have the Shiruba Springs, hole number 8, and this is the one which in the tournaments are famous, maybe it's the wrong word, but at least known for going for a very aggressive rough bump. Unfortunately, we are in between clubs here, so the rough bump is not going to be in play. Otherwise, I was thinking maybe doing a double version of having the rough bump as one option, because the rough bump is, regardless if we like it or not, it's the best chance to make an hole-in-one on this tough par 3. But as we are going to go in between clubs, if going the rough bump, then we're going to bounce on the fairway with an easy setup where we're going to have to use all the left spin basically every single time. The thing we need to have in mind though is that if we do hit a bad great left, that might not hit the fairway. Something to have in mind when you do play. But as we don't have more than 2 left spin, we kind of need to play it close, or we're gonna be not even close getting any rings. So it's kind of like, it's a tough decision to make, but obviously we're gonna go for getting a ring, otherwise what's the point with a guide? We're gonna play for the hole-in-one, which is the obsidian chest. You can get the yellow ring as well, which is amber chest. We do have crimson chest as the red ring, and aqua chest as the light blue ring, and cobalt chest as the dark blue ring. Press the question mark on the top right if you have more questions about the golden shot or just experience an error, because then you can press the button called contact us or contact us, which is in Swedish. Then you can send in a ticket to the Golf Clash support. We do have the adjustment above, the golden long iron maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment. The VPR table cover everything there on the right hand side, and obviously all those things will be in the guide. Let's take a look at the landing position here. You can see here that I'm not showing it from the normal view here. I'm showing this one from the side. And the question then is why? The reason I'm showing this from the side is that I want you to set up your target with this view. That's because we're looking for the white ring, top of the white ring by, sorry, top right of the white ring by the rough line, and the left side of the yellow ring by the rough line as well. You can also look at the red ring slightly overlapping the sand, but the yellow ring and the white ring should be your main focus point. So let's say that you would be setting up by looking straight forward. You will have a very, very tough time to know if you are by the rough and the rough with the yellow and the white ring. So that's why we're setting up from the side, and you will notice me doing that in the video after not doing it in the beginning and struggling massively. But once I started to do this, I got a much better consistency and it was much easier for me to get the hole-in-one. So then we do have one other thing that we unfortunately have to use, and that is because we only have 2 side spin, and that is something called curl. Obviously you know what curl is, but we're gonna have to use curl in any type of winds that comes straight headwind or a straight tailwind, or wind coming left to right. You can see here we start by the green box. If we do have wind coming left to right, like a direct crosswind, we're going to use a touch out of walls, outside wall, left curl. If we do have wind coming southeast or northeast, we do have half into the wall, half of the ball, the left side of the ball, halfway into the wall. And if we do have a direct tailwind or direct crosswind, we're going to touch inner arrows, which is something we also call baby curl in Golf Clash terms. So there you do have the curl tweaks as well. Obviously this is listed in the guide as well, and I talk a lot about the guide, but the guide we're gonna take a look at once it's once we are done looking at the shots. So now let's start. We do have 6 shots. Let's start off with almost a direct headwind. You can see here now that I'm looking from for my landing position from the view that I was talking about. left side of the yellow ring by the rough line, and then top right of the white ring by the rough line too. And once we have found that, we're gonna apply spin. And here I'm using 2 left spin, and I'm also using half a bar of top spin. Adjustment for 6.9 miles per hour is 4.9 rings, and I'm always pulling over the bullseye. So you can see here now that I'm starting at the edge of the transparent ring, which is the 4th ring, and pulling 1 ring over, or like 0.9 over. No curl when the wind is pushing right to left. And you can see here that we come down with a nice speed. The only problem though is that I do not forget, because that was a tweak I added after playing a couple of shots, but we need slightly less side spin here. Like we only need like 1.9 left spin to have a much better chance to get a hole-in-one. But it would be a yellow ring if the red ring, if I wouldn't be getting that one already, but I will settle for the red ring there in the video. Now, more or less a straight tailwind. I would say this is definitely with a hint of northwest if looking at cloud. Look now how tough this is to set this one up to look at the white ring and the yellow ring, and I'm kind of feel a bit lost, and that's why this video here is important to have to be here too, that you can set it up this way, but it's going to be very tough to be consistent with that landing spot. 6.4 miles per hour is 4.5 rings, and once again I will be pulling over the bullseye. So 2 left spin, and I'm using in this instance 0.8 bars of backspin. Center the ball, hit perfect. And you can also notice one thing, that when I did try to set it up this way, what I had problem with was that I had a tough time to manage the time. So I was very close to timeout several times when I set it up from that view, and that's also a big reason why I turned to the side to save myself some time, so I don't have to release on one go or maybe risk of timing out, because that would be absolutely terrible if we do timeout in the golden shot when we do get a free shot as well. So northeast type of wind here now. And you can see here that I'm struggling. You can see that the long iron, golden long iron text is in the way. But again, it's good to see the difference here in the guide video for you to know that you're not going to do this. You're going to do what we are suggested. So 0.3 backspin, 2 left spin, 6 miles per hour is 4.3 rings. And now we do have a wind coming left to right. If you remember, we're going to use curl here. And the curl we're going to use is that we're going to have the left side of the ball halfway into the wall to the left. Again, struggling with time. You can see I'm all the way down to 0 seconds, almost timing out, due to that I spent too much time on my landing position. And once again, that is something you need to think about, that set it up the correct way, otherwise there is definitely a risk for you to time out. Alright, the yellow ring, the amber chest going a little bit short, and that's obviously the difficult part when it comes to left to right wind, because you pull down into the bunker, you pull down to a lower terrain, and pulling from a higher to a lower point means that you will lose distance in the Golf Clash world, and that's obviously something we do have tweaks for in the guide here. Now, alright, we do have a 6.3 miles per hour. We then set it up, and as you can see here now, I'm trying to set it up, and this is the final, or like the last video with the example of setting up straight forward, because I wanted to show you that you can actually get an hole-in-one too. It's not the end of the world, but again, it's gonna be time consuming and it's gonna be tough. So now when we do have a wind that is a little bit more cross than what it is tailwind, I'm using 0.8 backspin and 2 left spin. 6.3 miles per hour is 4.5 rings. This time I managed the time much better. I can relax, I can center the ball, and I can make sure that I hit perfect without having to rush that perfect. Bouncing on the fairway, up onto the green. We love this speed, right at pin for a beautiful hole-in-one on this tough par 3 of the Shiruba Springs. So let's see what we do get in the obsidian chest here. We open it up, we get Apache, Rocket, Runner, Hornet, some Grim Reaper, and Berserker. And obviously the Berserkers is the main goal here, but the cards, you know, was massively yuck. That was really bad. Now let's set it up properly then. So you can see here now that we learned by doing. So 5.4 miles per hour is what we're having. We're setting it up, 2 left spin, and just a hint of topspin, but you will notice that I will switch the left spin before I take my shot here. 5.4 miles per hour, 3.8 rings. I pull over the bullseye. So you see here now in the end, I'm changing to 1.8 left spin here, and then keeping the one little hint of topspin. Obviously, choose the correct left spin from start, and that's going to be a little bit better. So we're getting it in the hole there, and that's really nice. That's really nice. So getting the Obsidian chest once again, and I will take that extra mile, Desert Storm, Kingfisher, Skewer, and then the Nirvana. And you know, that chest was a little bit better than the last hole-in-one. We'll see if we can't get a little better one here at the end with somewhat similar type of wind. It's a little bit more headwind though, which is also good. 1.8 left spin, and in this instance I'm not using any top or backspin. 5 miles per hour is the lowest wind we can get, which is 3.5. No, it's 3.5 rings, obviously. Pull over the bullseye, hit perfect, and then we're gonna have a good chance here for a drop. Center the ball, also very important. You know, I talk about that a lot, but centering the ball is super important. Bouncing on the fairway up onto the green. We love when the camera zooms out like that, and we know it's going to be close. Perfect speed, right at pin, ending up with a nice hole-in-one. So again, there is a lot of stuff obviously that's going on, and that's why we do have the guide. We're going to take a look at the guide after the chess, but make sure to get to Patreon to get yourself a package for tournament or tour play to take the next step in your game, and we will help you out to do that. So let's take a look at the text guide made by Tony Richardson. As always, make sure that you do subscribe to his channel. You do have the link in the description down below. So let's start with the landing position, and I've chosen to go with a view that shows it from the side because that's the way I want you to focus on setting up your target. Obviously, if you don't care about that, you can obviously setting it up with, you know, straightforward, but then you look obviously for the same spot. So red, just overlapping sand, yellow by rough on the left, and then white by rough on the right. Those 3 things, I would say mainly the yellow and the white ring is what I'm looking for, but that's obviously up to you to decide what focus points is the easiest for you to follow. When it comes to the curl, we have a green, we have a light blue, and we do have a red box, or green, blue, red box, and those is obviously correlated with the colors on the spins. But if we start with the green box, and we see that we do have a straight crosswind coming left to right, we do have touch outer wall, and together with that we go with no top spin or backspin, and we go 2 left spin always. Looking at the blue boxes, we do have wind coming northeast or southeast, and then we play then with left side of the ball halfway into the wall. Together with in northeast a 0.3 backspin, 2 left spin. In southeast a 0.3 top spin and 2 left spin. Direct headwind or tailwind, touch inner arrows to the left then. And then direct headwind has half a bar of top spin, 2 left spin. Direct tailwind has 0.8 backspin and 2 left spin. Wind coming right to left does not need any curl, and that's obviously the preferred wind that we do want to have. If we do have a wind coming right to left, northwest, we have 1 backspin, 2 left spin, as we are adjusting up to a higher point. So we need to compensate for that by doing so. Wind coming right to left, direct crosswind, half a bar backspin, 1.6 left spin. Wind coming southwest, so it's right to left, headwind and crosswind. No top spin or backspin, and 1.8 left spin. And then we do have the VPR table on the right hand side, and we play a long iron, max plus 30 every single time. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this golden shot guide for the Shiruba sprains. Make sure to comment in the comment section below how it went for you, and I want to wish you the absolute best of luck in the golden shot.